Welcome to Bantu Bitcoin, or as we say in the Bemba language here in rural Zambia, Mwaisenipo mukwai bonse. Bantu Bitcoin is a Bitcoin-only education podcast and network, which we hope to soon grow in many different local language RSS feeds. Today, we are pleased to welcome you to this new show and invite you to join us in this mission. A mission which is rather simple, frankly, yet important no less. Simple, but not easy. To help facilitate Bitcoin education among people around the world in their own local languages. And with your help, we can continue to do so. So, welcome to the English language RSS feed of the show, as you've by now obviously figured out yourself. This English RSS feed is sort of a special one, I suppose. Of course, we'll share our Bitcoin conversations with people here in rural Zambia. I'll take you into a chat with my friends here as I introduce them to Machankora. Machankora is the Bitcoin wallet for feature phones without internet. It's an incredible move forward in adoption of Bitcoin. But also, as my primary language is English, in this English feed, we'll share a little bit more behind the scenes too, if you will. Be that the assembling of this growing peer-to-peer Bitcoin educational podcast network throughout Africa, or we'll meet some of the public people and names working on the ground, here and around the world as developers of one sort or the other, helping to teach and onboard people into using and saving in Bitcoin. This fascinating peer-to-peer network upending the financial world. We want to thank Anita Posh for her partnership and leadership with Bitcoin for Fairness as we further build out the podcasts at btcpodcasting.com. Bitcoin for Fairness, BFF, they've created this platform free for participants like myself, participants like myself and others who are helping to educate on the ground here throughout Africa, not just in Zambia, but Zimbabwe and elsewhere. In as many local languages as possible, via the medium of podcast. And audio, it turns out, is pretty great for many reasons. But for one, I can compress the audio to a file size small enough to download easily or accessibly to people here, by people here in rural Zambia, where smartphone penetration is nil, albeit rather slowly picking up. Why are podcast MP3s huge? This one is about 2 megabytes. I made it small on purpose. The internet is not really as accessible. It's not as common. It's, the service might be 2G, which is the edge network. Some places 4G pops up occasionally, but over the next 5 years, smartphones and internet access will continue to increase at great rates, be it throughout rural Zambia, here where I am, and perhaps one of the most rural places in the world. Still, without no running water, no electrical grid. Fetching water takes women often it's women, a large part of their time of the day. There's a lot of aspects of poverty and development that come into play when we talk about inflation and people having the ability to save. So Bitcoin is very relevant here. It's very applicable. If there's a flippening at all, it's going to be these poorer countries traditionally learning and seeing the benefits of Bitcoin before the wealthier, rich countries of the world. And the flippening will be that countries like El Salvador and first movers to Bitcoin will become the new leaders in many ways, in financial ways. I think the U.S. will still be fine, but people better wake up soon. Anyway, over the next 5 years, smartphones and internet access will increase. But yeah, as I was just saying, it's 2023 though, and while internet may be increasing here among villagers in this rural part, it still feels like some years in the past, I gotta say. So outside of the capital city of Lusaka, Zambia still has a long way to go before Bitcoin adoption is so very prevalent in these parts. But other countries, Nigeria, Kenya, Ghana, I'm seeing there's more smartphones, there's more internet, they're further along, they have electricity, they have running water to begin with, in basic infrastructure, roads. So it might be a little bit for the rural parts of Zambia. But in Lusaka, in the capital city, there's a lot actually happening. There are meetup groups, smartphones, almost everyone has a smartphone in the capital city of Lusaka. Anyway, we'll talk more about that in time. So, Bantu Bitcoin. You might say that's an interesting name. Well, yeah, perhaps. Bantu, as you may know, is an African word referring to people in the many Bantu languages throughout Africa that are united. And though here in Zambia, the official language is English because colonialism, Zambia does still have 72 tribal languages. And here in rural Zambia, where I am, we speak Bemba, Mwaisenipo, mukwai, bonse. As I said before, that means welcome, everyone. So the goal of this podcast network is rather simple, to help facilitate Bitcoin education among people around the world in their own local languages. Ukwafulisha Bantu kusambalila pafya Bitcoin, mundimi isha pusana pusana. Each episode will be available in as many languages as we have people here wanting to record a show or help translate. We'll make a new RSS feed for any language. Just get in touch. At this point, I should probably introduce myself. My name is Harrison. You can call me Harrison, I suppose we'll say. And I'm an American living in Zambia since 2018. I'm learning the local language and the work that I do here, independent of Bitcoin. If you want to get in touch to join us in this effort at Bantu Bitcoin, message us on Twitter, Bantu Bitcoin, or by email, bantubitcoin@protonmail.com, or find me personally on Twitter. My handle, I think hopefully it will be easy to remember. It's Satoshi Nakamoto, but the first S is 5. I want to say thank you to Kenny from Germany. Kenny, you were our first contributor of Satoshis to the show. Thank you. All donations received to Bitcoin at 8333.mobi. That's the lightning address of Machankora for our account. Bitcoin at 8333.mobi. All donations received there are used to onboard rural Zambians here in this village where I live when I show them how to use a Bitcoin wallet. And Machankora is cool because it uses SMS text messaging without internet on old school feature phones. So people here who don't even have smartphones, even though smartphones will increase, and people who don't have bank accounts, the 2 billion unbanked, who've been traditionally blocked by high fees, inaccessibility, blatant systemic racism, or the after effects of slavery and colonization, etc. All these variables and factors that have contributed to 2 billion people more than being unbanked in the year 2023. Meanwhile, Bitcoin does it instantly with lower fees in a peer-to-peer way. It can't be shut down, it can't be stopped, it can't be censored. It's a decentralized network. That's where the security comes from, the redundancy of the network decentralized. Anyway, listen or stream sats live to us anytime. Appreciate it. Thank you, everyone. You can hear the rain beginning on the tin roof. I'm going to wrap this up. We got a lot of great material coming, podcast recordings coming your way, including 2 of the talks I recently gave to journalists here in Zambia in Lusaka as part of an initiative with Anita Posh and Bitcoin for Fairness. It was to help educate the educators, as we said. So, media here, they are still learning how to talk about Bitcoin. And it's important that they learn and share only accurate information about Bitcoin. The rain's picking up. Stay tuned for that. Appreciate it. Cheers, everyone. Be well.